Today. Today is the day we shall surpass our weak and fleshy bodies, and we shall embrace superior metal. As my backstory states from the Torso scenario start, it says that my boy Torso no longer was left without any of his limbs, and was robbed of all of his possessions. It was after this experience where he discovered that flesh can be taken away, but metal will always remain. The people we've assembled into the Machine Men will transcend humanity and become something far greater than we've ever imagined. And for that, we're going to need a surplus of prosthetic arms and legs. I set off into the unknown with the god of thievery, Torso no longer, running a whole 48 miles an hour without breaking a sweat on his very chiseled brow. I've heard that there was a city run solely by robots over in the acid-drenched plains of the Deadlands, so that's exactly where we're going to head. Hopefully, the robots would have better prosthetics since they're, robots. As Torso's gliding through the fog islands, he catches the attention of some fogmen walking around, and he completely outpaces them. He continues to run to the Deadlands, and like a black blur, passes by a squad of Holy Nation soldiers. They've taken a notice of Torso and try to fight him in an attempt to cleanse him of his robotic limbs, but they're too slow. The Holy Nation, if you didn't know, is super robophobic and will attack anyone who's a skeleton or has prosthetic limbs of any kind, and they'll enslave or kill you outright for being anything but a white dude. By the time they've readied their weapons, we've already made it across their territory, getting ever closer to the wealth held inside the robot city. Torso no longer reaches the borders of the Deadland in record time, and he stands on a hill and looks off into the distance, scanning the horizon for the city. As soon as we reach the city, we head to the bar to steal everything the barkeeper owns, and fortunately, we run into the person by the name of Sadneil. Apparently he's weak and gives in to peer pressure easily, so I have him join us on our quest for ascension, taking him to help out raiding the robotic shop for all they're worth. We need all the manpower we can get in order to stake our claim upon Kenshi. As we reach the robotic shop, Torso pops off his legs to engage in maximum stealth mode, but a guard comes in and throws him out of the store and leaves him on the dirt, being mistaken for a moving trash bag. We crawl back into the store and go upstairs to where they keep the heavily guarded prosthetics, making our way towards the back of the floor where the chests are kept. Torso easily picks the lock, taking a few arms and legs for himself. We then move on to the safe, which has a guard stationed on it at all times, but he effortlessly crawls around them while avoiding detection. He picks the safe open and fills his bags, and heads downstairs to score even more arms and legs. The more we take, the more of my teammates I can augment in one go. With that in mind, I crawl to the barrels and I take whatever I need, and then I leave, all while the guards watch me stuff their goods down my pants for safekeeping. I then have Torso pick up the new guy, slinging him over his shoulder as if he was nothing, and we start running back to the Fog Islands. We now have everything we need to start our dark work. As soon as we reach the base, I put Sadneil to work at the barracks, which is highly illegal by the way, just to beef him up for the upcoming battles that we will have. Since we've been gone, the crew got around to building up a base of operations within Mongrel to speed along the process of limb removal. I walk up to the chest that contains the prosthetics and I pick out 2 masterwork level arms and 2 specialist level legs, and I put them into my sack. I've already sent my strongest warrior, Infinite Wing, out to the death yard so he can fight until he's defeated and captured. He spots a group of fogmen and goes in for the kill. 2 break off and engage Wing, and he fights back, not stopping until he gets knocked out. I want to test his strength to see how many he can take down before going down himself. He defeats the 2 enemies, and Torso patches him up, swaps his weapon for a high-quality Ronin hatchet, and sends him back into the fray where Wing will find glory in battle. He charges a large group once more, and attracts a few more enemies. Wing puts up a valiant fight before it goes down to the horde. We heal him once more, and place him on the pole. I put him down right beside the pole as fogmen engage us, but he's able to make his way to the prisoner pole before it goes down again, and I run off and disappear into the fog. After the enemies forget that I've ever existed, I run back down to the makeshift prison, and I begin to give the praying fogmen a swift chop to the neck, knocking them out cold. I then start tearing their heads off their body with my bare hands, and I stack their heads into a tower, ensuring that they don't get back up and interfere with Wing's transformation into something greater. I hide in the fog, taking cover behind some rocks, and I see Wing's neighbor having a wonderful dinner with their fogmen friends. And of course, they are the main course. Once the poor prisoner has been consumed, The Fogmen turn their attention towards Wing Wing and start chowing down on his body as he screams about having a good time and how fun the experience of being eaten really is. Finally, you get to see why I came to the Fog Islands. The Fogmen begin to eat the character's legs and arms first before moving on to the body, which makes this a perfect place to replace the limbs of my non-robot companions. Also, there's a silver lining to having your limbs getting chewed off as well. Every limb that pops off their body grants a fat XP bonus to toughness, making them a lot tankier. Their skin hardens in response to physical trauma.
Nanomachine, son.
As soon as Wing Wing's legs and right arm pops off, blood starts spraying out of him. I have to take him off and bandage his wounds, or he would risk bleeding out before we can have all of his parts removed. So I knock out the Fogmen around Wing Wing, and I take him back to Mongrel. I place him in bed so he can have a little nappy before I place him back on the fun time pole. After he's woken up from blood loss, I grabbed his mangled body and run back to the death yard and place him onto the pole again, and watch as the Fogmen surround him and start chomping on his arm. As the ritual is happening, I sit right in front of Wing Wing, and I watch him closely, making sure he doesn't get fully eaten or die from blood loss. Only after a few minutes, his last limb comes off, and I knock out the Fogmen to heal him again. Now, the transformation is finally complete. I take the arms and legs that I've stolen and I put them onto Wing Wing, and his power spikes beyond human comprehension. He has surpassed his human form and embraced the machine gods. I take him off the pole and send him back to base, and I bring the next convert over. I place Ruka under the prisoner pole and the Fogmen begin. Surrounded by the heads of the Fogmen, I stand in front of Ruka and watch closely. The procedure is extremely dangerous, and people can still die if they're not closely monitored. As soon as all of her limbs are removed, we grab her, take her back to the city, and we repeat the process with Crumblejohn. And it goes as well as expected. Next up for limb removal is Shrike. We place her into the pole and I have Torso hop into the pole opposite of her. As soon as one of her limbs pop off, we knock off the Fogman and heal her. But out of nowhere, some robot comes out of the fog and he wants a fight. The robot runs up to Torso and starts swinging, and from the prisoner pole, Shrike grabs her sword and starts attacking as best as she can. We beat up the intruder and tie him to a pole, where we sweet talk him into joining our quest for ascension. After all is said and done, I return to watching Shrike, but a group of Fogmen come up and attack me, forcing me to run away. They pick up Shrike and carry her around, complicating the process. I try my best to save her from the clutches, but there's too many of them to fight off, and I'm unable to save her. She bleeds out and perishes. Oh well, sometimes you can't win them all. We're making the mother of all omelets here, and we can't make progress without breaking a few eggs. Next up on the pole is Beep. We strap him up to the pole and watch closely again, this time making sure that there aren't any unwanted guests. Everything goes smoothly, and we put cybernetics onto his body, and his transformation into Cyber Beep is complete. We have finally achieved our goal, and the Cyborg Squad is ready to take on the world. I have Torso head on back to the house in Mongrel, where we gather up the crew and prepare to move out, and set up a true base in order to launch our attack upon the world. There's a perfect spot I know where to set up a base, and it's located over in the northern coast, which is also known for their cannibals. I really know how to pick them. We set off as a group and start running towards the northern coast. We finally reach the coast, and we begin to build our base of operations. I instruct the group to build a house and some walls for protection against the elements and passing cannibals. This is where we will begin the final part of our plan, and this ends the third chapter of Torso's journey in Kenshi. Sorry for not uploading this sooner. I got stuck playing Dark and Darker when the playtest was out, and I should have been editing this video, but sometimes you gotta make some time for yourself. I hope you guys enjoy watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and if you liked it, leave a like and subscribe. Every little bit helps. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace.